Welcome back to the Man Advantage Rangers podcast. It's been a hot minute since we've done a show. I think it's been before the New Year, so we're already in February, so it's been over a month. But yeah, we took some time off. I'm still on vacation, but a lot to talk about last night's Rangers game. So here we go. Let's go.
Toward the net, tip, score! 1-1, Panarin,
So that happened.
So, all right, guys, welcome back to the Man Advantage Rangers podcast. I'm your host, Jamie. Today is February 7th, 6th. I don't even know. I've been on vacation for like a week, so I've lost track of time. But we are back, and let's start with last night's game. Lots to unpack about last night's game. Just an overall. We're going to go over a few things here, not just last night's game, but let's start with last night's game. So, yeah, so Jacob Trouba making lots of headlines. He had a really good game. If you like big hits and beating people up and all that good stuff, I'm not sure why he has to defend himself every time he lays somebody out. It's really something else. But the referees got it right both times. They gave Calgary extra penalties, which they should have. And the Rangers cashed in on one of those, so good on them. But overall, Filipino, he's been on fire. It seems like for about the last 5-6 weeks, up to 18 goals now. I mean, that young man's going to get paid at the end of the season, big time. Especially with guys like Dylan Strome getting $25 million over 5 years, and um, Dylan Cousins got a big 7.1 million for 7 years. So lots of big contracts being doled out, and unfortunately, the Rangers don't have that much cap space to pay everybody. So hopefully, we can keep him around. But Phil had 2 goals. Mika had 2 goals, and then of course Lafreniere had the overtime winner. It was some sort of game. I mean, it was just lots of action, lots of controversy. The third Calgary goal, it's close. I think they didn't overturn it because they called it a goal on the ice. I mean, if you look at the replay, he was redirecting it, but kind of in a kicking motion. It was close. As a Ranger fan, I'm like, oh, he kicked it. I just feel like if that was the Rangers against anybody else, it would have been taken away. So, and then right after that, Halak gives up a bad goal. He was sort of screened by Mangiapane, and Stone let it rip. But the Rangers tied it. Great play by Bread, 2 assists for Bread. But I'm going to bring up Artemi Panarin here in a second. And he became the fastest player at 300 points, least amount. I think it was 233 games, beating guys like Messier and Brian Leach and players of that magnitude. Panarin's been a little like I didn't think I didn't think he had a great game last night. He turned the puck over a couple times, and he's going to do that because he has the puck so much on his stick. He I think is the one who took the too many men on the ice penalty. He jumped on early and then played the puck. I know that's not technically all his fault, but Gallant was not happy and made him serve the penalty. He's been a little bit more of a perimeter player. Although I will say on the 3-on-3, I like the fact that he cut to the net on that first shift of the overtime. So I just feel like he's shooting such a bad shooting percentage this year, way down from his average. But he's just got to keep shooting that puck because he does have a good shot. So, the lines right now, Mika, Bread, and VC, didn't really have any chemistry until that later stages of the third period. They had a couple shifts, but nothing, concrete. The best line by far was the kid line, and Trocheck, Goudreau, and um, Kreider was good a couple games ago, but that was like 2 weeks ago. So the Rangers have some things to figure out. Oh, I also like Will Cooley. I like Will Cooley a lot. I like his game. He's got some, he's a big kid. He's got some speed. Doesn't look out of place. He's had 2 fights already, and I'm not saying he needs to fight every game, but he brings that element of the game. Um, I really wish they could have the third line be Trocheck, VC, and Kreider. I think that's the line that should go up against every other team's top line because all those guys can skate pretty well. They can all play responsible hockey. I just don't know who you put on that top line. I mean, you want to put Kravtsov on that top line with Bread and Mika. I don't want to break up the kids, so maybe it's a deadline acquisition, someone that can snipe. You know, Semi Blay was back in the lineup last night. Um, he played okay. He looked a little bit better. He didn't look as slow as he normally looks. He had a nice hit on Lucic. Um, so, but are we going to keep him at the expense of Gauthier? I don't understand. I read something today with Brooks saying that Gauthier might be going on waivers. We going through this again? Well, I don't understand that. Gauthier adds so much more. He's big. He can skate. He's got like 6 goals on the year. Well, he hasn't scored in like 53 games as a Ranger. Come on. I don't know about that. I guess we'll have to let that play out. So they got to figure out the lines. But in the meantime, the Rangers are just chugging along. They're in third place in the Metro behind the Devils right now. It would be Rangers Devils in the first round. God help us. Take off more years of my life. And they've been playing, winning games, getting on points almost every game. I lost the game in Toronto. That was dumb. Halak's been better, although he wasn't. He was good last night. He made the saves when he needed to. He had that one kind of screenshot, but they got to figure out the roster right now. Get down to 22, accrue as much cap space before the deadline as possible. I'm not sure. I think I'm more on the fence of let's add a guy like Tarasenko or someone we're not thinking about. I don't know about Timo Meyer. That seems like giving up a lot for a rental for a guy that you can't keep because of the salary cap. I mean, if it was something where you're going to keep him for the duration of his next contract, yeah. But he's probably going to wind up with the Devils, someone who's got cap space. Yeah, so like I said, the last month or so, we had the Rangers just, being one of the top probably 5 teams in the league as far as their record goes. They're pretty much, I think they have several, like 2 or 3 games in hand on the Caps. The Caps are 4 points behind them. So they're probably in that third spot for sure. Maybe they can catch the Devils, but we'll see. Although the Rangers schedule coming up is tough. They've got Vancouver. I know in no particular order. They got Vancouver, Seattle, and Carolina in the next like 3 out of 4 games. It always seems like we play 3rd and 4 nights at Carolina, like the 3rd game and 4 nights at Carolina. I don't know why that is. But yeah, I mean, the season's starting to pick up. It seems like the Rangers might be picking their game up a little bit, knowing that we're beyond the second half stretch. We're in the February here. There's a lot of games. I think the Rangers have, I think someone said 33 games and 67 nights. So that's basically a game every other day. That's a lot of hockey. The team had their week off, and then there was the All-Star break. So some guys were off about 8 or 9 days, which is going to help. Guys like Trouba, um, who was nursing something, he looked a lot fresher last night. A guy like Keandre Miller and Lindgren's always banged up, so that time off will be good for them. Boudreaux, another guy that always, sacrifices a lot. So get these guys healthy, are a little bit more energized for the push here. There's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams in the NHL this year. And Devils look really good. Carolina looks good. Boston's been amazing, although they've kind of slowed down a little bit over the last couple weeks here. I think they did lose 3 in a row. Florida looks like they may have turned a corner. We got to watch them. I just don't know if they're going to have enough time to make up. I know there's 30 plus games, but you're playing Toronto, Tampa, Boston a lot. But they're getting healthy. They're getting guys back. Had quite a few injuries. I'll touch on the Horvat trade. I mean, Lou got a guy that can score. We'll see how that shakes out for them. They extended him 8 years, 8.5. That's a hefty. It's like Mika Zibanejad kind of. I'd much rather have Zibanejad than Bo Horvat. Islanders are feeling it because they need to, get in the playoffs. Lou missed the playoffs last year and is in danger of missing the playoffs again, and his team is not getting any younger. So, remains to be seen. I'm very interested to see what happens with the Islanders. The trade deadline should be pretty cool because there's so many. Now, again, some teams are out of it, and like Vancouver, there'll be some teams selling. Eric Carlson, Timo Meyer. I've heard Brock Besser, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane. There's always all the smoke about Kane to the Rangers, and I don't want any part of him. First off, it's probably cost too much. Second of all, he's only going to be here for 6 to 8 weeks, and he's hurt. He's like a shell of himself. He's nursing something, and I wish nothing but the best for the guy, but I don't want him on my team. So yeah, so there's a bunch of guys that could get moved. And trade deadline's always a fun day. It's always a nerve-wracking day for fans. Drury was great last year. I mean, I think I'm hoping for something similar as far as like a Vetrano-esque kind of addition, a guy that's a shoot-first guy. People keep saying, well, Tyler Mott, we can get him. Yeah, if we want to get him, we go out and get him. I don't think, unless the price is right. Now, Mike Greer, the GM for the Sharks, and Drury are pretty tight. So, could there be a deal there? Yeah, I've heard Philip Heedle's name, and no, Heedle he's 23. I feel like he's been in the league for like 8 years already. He's finding his game. You can see the confidence now. Like he wants the puck on a stick. Although at the very end of that game last night, he should have shot the puck, and I yelled at the TV and the ceiling, and me and my kids were just shaking our heads. But he's been so good the last like 6 weeks. Like it's like he knows he's here now and he belongs, and he's got a great shot, and his release is top notch, and so I don't want to trade him, and that I think it'd be idiotic of the Rangers to do that, but whatever. So if there's a match there, maybe it's like a first round pick and Jones and I don't know, something else. I don't want to trade Hoffman. But if it's only for this one little playoff run, I mean, it's like no, I don't know. Somehow I want to keep him. on the team. Maybe Barkley Goodrow might have to get traded anyway to keep Phil, Laffy, Miller, and all these other guys that need contracts. So yeah, but anyway, I'll be back. I'm back now. I'm gonna be doing um, more shows, videos, podcasts. Like and subscribe. I'm gonna be doing more of that stuff. I've been having my son do shorts. He likes doing those, so we like looking at those. So I hope everybody had a great holiday, safe, happy New Year, all that good stuff. Um, and we're getting through February. We got the Super Bowl this weekend. My Giants took it on the chin with Philly, of course, but had a good year. And looking forward to free agency and the draft. But we got a lot of hockey left. The best time of the year, trade deadline. Then, before you know it, 2 months from now, be the playoffs, baby. And fasten your seatbelt. So buckle up for that, guys. And like I said, like and subscribe. Give me a follow on Twitter. And we'll see you all soon. Have a great day.